Bruh!
Dude, that was a radical, gnarly half pipe you just thrashed, man.
No big whoop.
Oh, just a second, dude. Like, my dealer's calling and stuff. Just give me a second. I'm gonna grab that.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, bro.
No, Jonesy. No, you get it. No, I got your 30. No, I'll meet you at the half pipe, okay? All right, talk to you later, brah. Sorry, man. It's like, that was just Jonesy. He was like, he's like, you owe me $30. And I'm like, dude, I was shredding some wicked pavement there earlier this week. Did a judo 930. And, I didn't have time to come see you. But, dude, I got your money. And you guys don't need to know about, what me and Jonesy are up to.
Jonesy's such a drag, man.
I know, right? I was like, he doesn't even like to do any, like, jousting with heart pillows on a mace handle or anything like that. Like, what a pansy.
That's like, man, I gotta tell you something, though.
What's that, dude?
You know how we saw, like, Goonies a while ago?
Oh, man, that movie was so gnarly and stuff.
Yeah. Well, the guy from Goonies is in a new movie.
Corey Feldman?
No, the other guy.
Oh, Sean Astin.
No, the other guy.
The Asian kid?
No, the other guy.
Joe Pantoliano?
Is the Brolin dude, bro.
Oh, that Brolin guy. Oh, yeah.
The guy?
That guy, dude?
He looks so presidential, you know?
I know, right?
He's gonna be in, like, a skateboard movie, bro.
Whoa, a skateboard movie? That's super gnarly. No way.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not going to be terrible in any way at all.
No way, because... And it won't be like another breakdancing movie, because that's a memory, bro.
Right, breaking's a memory for wimps and stuff. And scene.
We'll apologize for the fantastic accents.
Dude, I worked all week on my Valley accent, bruh.
That's right. I studied with the great Valley. I got nothing.
Nicolas Cage
right
from
before
Valley Girl, come on.
Right before we get started here, guys, want to bring in our first guest. It is she is, not it, that's mean. She is my good friend and lead singer of Gem and the Holograms. Please welcome Jerika.
Dude, that's her secret identity.
Oh, what? Oh,
no one's supposed to know Jerika is Gem and Gem is Jerika. You just told the entire world.
Oh, shit.
Well, they don't know what I look like, so it's okay.
Okay.
Oh, this isn't video, right? They can't see the pictures on my screen. Wait, that sounded like I was looking at your pictures. I meant, like, the Skype display pictures.
Right, sure, Brendan, whatever.
I need to put a face to the voice every time I talk to someone on the phone.
You've been watching Abduction with Taylor Lautner and his predatory glances.
Oh, don't even... I've been watching too many shitty movies lately. But thankfully, this was a much easier shitty movie to sit through. And that is 1986's hit? We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah. Thrashin, the skateboard movie starring Josh Brolin. Now, before we get into the movie, Jerika, you said you had some quotes from Josh Brolin because we were trying so hard to find box office information for this movie. Go ahead.
Okay, so a couple months ago, Josh Brolin did a podcast, and he was talking about some of the shitty movies that he's been in. Surprise, surprise, Thrashin came up. So he said, quote, "When I saw Thrashin, I thought that was the worst performance I've ever seen." So that's a good start. And then...
Is he including his performance in, like, Men in Black 3?
What?
Because that's really just him doing a Tommy Lee Jones impression for 2 hours.
He does talk about that, but no, that's one of the good ones.
Ooh.
And then he talks about apologizing for Thrashin.
For what? There is no need to apologize for that movie.
I say it's about time.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it since 1986. Like,
exactly. As soon as I came out of the womb, I was like, someone better apologize for Thrashin.
If anybody needs to apologize for Thrashin, it's the starlet. I didn't even bother getting her name.
I have it here somewhere. But yeah, and then finally, he was talking about the effect that Thrashin has had on people. And how people come up to him and say, "I started skateboarding because of that movie." It changed my life, my family. I was going through some shit at that time, and you saved my life. That's the type of film that we're dealing with today, guys.
Oh God.
This is a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lives were saved.
I have a feeling a few were lost because of some of the stuff they do in this movie.
Well, if anybody copied the jousting scene, I feel like dignity was shamed.
Guilty.
That's true. Nathan and
Dude,
I did go
I
out
was
jousting
8 when this movie came out, okay? So, I did see this movie, like, not in theaters, but, like, when it was on video.
Did anybody see it in theater?
I don't know.
Yeah, because guess what? We tried to look this up on every website we could conceivably think of to find out the box office. It's nowhere.
Really?
Yeah.
We looked up the specific date on Box Office Mojo. It's not even on the list. It had to have opened within the top 20.
Did you
There's
look
no way it
under
did that fast.
Skate Gang? That's the
Skate
alternate
Gang?
title for it, Skate Gang.
Well, I didn't see anything that would have been remotely related to that, so I don't think it was there at all.
And I was going to say, I even went to the Los Angeles Times newspaper archives online because I was like, okay, this is such an LA movie. They definitely, if it has a box office, it was reported in that. And it's not even there. There's a review of it, so I know that at some point somebody saw it.
In theaters.
Right.
So.
But apparently, according to the rest of the internet, it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I posted on Reddit asking if anybody had seen it in theaters. Got no replies.
Well, and I think the reason being is that the movie itself, well, ridiculous and fun and everything, it failed to hit their, I think it failed to hit their niche market because the people that it would be appealing to are skater kids who in 86 probably didn't have a whole lot of expendable income because they were already spending it on skateboarding. Who's got time to go see somebody make a fake movie about skateboarders? And then all the other kids who aren't into skateboarding but really like skateboarding, I guess, like watching it or something, their parents won't take them to it because, the trailers and stuff make it seem like the movie's filled with skate gangs. So they just shot themselves in the foot.
I honestly wasn't sure who this movie was made for because I assumed it was made for skaters, but then the way they kept sexually objectifying Josh Brolin throughout this movie, I thought, is it made for me?
Well, that's it. They
true.
really were all over the place, and unfortunate because they tried to get everybody, they got nobody.
Okay, so again, I know we're talking a lot about this movie before we even talk about the details, but there's one other thing I wanted to mention. I found out the director of this movie, who went on to direct some really great films. No, he didn't. David Winters was.
Did he direct Posse as well?
I don't even know what that is.
Come on, well, that one's going on the list.
All right.
It's Mario Van Peebles and Stephen Baldwin in a movie together with Billy Zane as the villain.
Oh my lord!
That's all I have to say.
So David Winters was very upset after being overruled on a casting decision for Thrashin because originally, the girl who we'll talk about later, who plays Velvet, the Hook's girlfriend, Sherilyn Fenn, she was going to play the main female role, Chrissy.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
And Johnny Depp was going to play Brolin's role because they were real life boyfriend and girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
The studio, a sign of the times here, guys. The studio said, "No, we don't want Johnny Depp. We want a star. Get Josh Brolin."
Ew.
The only time that sentence has ever been spoken.
I mean, I love Josh Brolin, but
I say that as someone who is he is my favorite actor, and I would.
Yeah. So. And then I read that this director vowed to always fund projects on his own so he could have full control, and everything he made after that was straight to video.
Unfortunate.
You'd think this would have launched his career. All right, we should get into this movie.
Yes.
Okie doke.
So, How about that opening dream sequence?
What the?
I was
I
like,
couldn't
is
tell
this
if
a
he was telling
fever
the future.
dream? Yeah, like, was it a premonition? Was it a fever dream? Was it... Yeah, I didn't get what was happening at all.
Why was it like only like 10 seconds long? I don't know
Well,
what it was trying to accomplish.
If you take the time, if you care that much, and watch that opening dream, they use some of the same footage from the race at the end of the movie.
No, they don't.
I'm telling you.
It looks like they do. It wouldn't surprise me.
So they just put a soft focus filter on it?
Yep.
And a fisheye lens?
I think the whole idea was to show that skateboarding is so ingrained in Josh Brolin's character that he dreams it, he lives it, and you know.
Are they trying to tell us from the get-go that Josh Brolin is a fish based on the lens choice? Because every time you see a first-person perspective from him, it's like a fish lens.
Well, that's because the camera that they have to use to get any of the skateboarding shots.
He's a fish! Twist!
It
Guys,
probably would have been a better movie. So.
If at the end of the movie, Josh Brolin, I don't want to give away anything yet, but if at the end of the movie, Josh Brolin had like jumped away and like kind of glided into the ocean and swam away, I would have been, this movie would have been 5 stars.
Okay, I also have to call you out on this. He also directed Space Mutiny.
Well, wasn't that straight to video?
I don't care. It was on Mystery Science Theater. It's a fantastic movie.
Well,
and he also directed Night Trap, that Sega CD video game.
It's a good thing they gave him full control.
Yes.
Because God knows we would be deprived of Space Mutiny.
So, when the movie opens, his mom apparently is approving of him going away to another city for a skate competition, leaves him money and says don't get killed, and then he goes to live in someone's RV and hangs out with Harpo Marx's grandson.
You know what? I never even caught that. I just saw that his mom left him money, and then I forgot that he had a mom because this movie has no parents.
None.
Everybody is like little orphan Annie.
They're away from their parents. Like Hook, whatever his face is, he's living out in California. His sister has come from Indiana. There are no parents around his skate gang house. And the only time parents get mentioned is because they're absent. Like, his mom left him the note. The Hook's parents live in Indiana, and Bozo's dad talked him into buying a Volkswagen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what it is? It's because all the skate kids, they don't want to see parents on screen, brah.
Parents, am I right?
Parents just don't understand.
A little early for that.
I love the credit at the beginning because it just the credits are going while he's like skateboarding through the city, and one of the credits is like, and introducing Pamela Gidley as Chrissy, and I wanted to say and exiting.
Yeah.
But I did find something else that she was in, and it fucking escapes me now. But it was
17
something like
magazine, because. No, she was legitimately in that. Like she was a model or something before this.
She was in Fire Walk with Me, like the Twin Peaks movie.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking of. With Sherilyn Fenn.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Didn't see that movie.
I didn't either, but I was trying to find something that she had done that somebody might have known about. So Brolin is, while Josh Brolin is skateboarding through the town, he's also doing parkour, I think.
His stunt double is doing parkour, I think.
Yes, because he is never anywhere as near a skateboard.
I think even when he's carrying it, it's a stunt double.
If you look at the credits, there are 4 credited stunt doubles for Josh Brolin's character.
And you know what's something? The interesting thing about the stunt doubles and stuff like that in this movie, like you said, there's 4 of them for Josh. A lot of the guys who are stunt doubles are legit skaters, like people that I've heard of. Like Mike McGill's in this movie as an extra and stunt double. Steve Caballero, Tony Hawk is in it. Yep. Tony Alva. So yeah, there's some big names that were in this movie that probably would have put on a more believable performance because they know what skateboarding is legitimately about.
Right. And also, while he's skateboarding through the town, the girls are, like, gawking at him. But he's doing, I don't know, like, I'm not a skateboarder, but he's doing some very standard skateboard moves.
Yes.
Like,
there's,
he's not doing anything out of the ordinary.
He's kind of got one move where he just, like, kind of, like, sways back and forth a lot. And then it just makes... Yeah. Maybe.
Well, did you notice the long shots where you could still see his face and he was on the skateboard, that he looked very uncomfortable? There's a shot where he's swaying and Josh Brolin just looks like he's like, oh man, I should have done Goonies too. Oh man. Okay, so he's skateboarding through the town, blah blah blah. That's the opening credits. We're making good time here. Then they meet up. He meets up with his buddies who are called the Ramp Locals.
Yeah, you're gonna come up with a gang name. You're gonna call yourself the Ramp Locals.
Like, what is that?
It's literally just a descriptor. They built a ramp and they live locally.
Yeah. At least the daggers sound menacing.
And do they become the Ramp Locals after they build that shitty ramp? Or were they always the Ramp Locals?
I'm gonna say they were always the Ramp Locals.
Okay, because...
No, I'm gonna say that they became the Ramp Locals. They must have just been the locals. And then
now
they
got
built
a ramp. So now they're the Ramp Locals.
Which they built in like 30 seconds, so...
With the help of a musical montage.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, the montages in this movie.
And they literally are just going back and forth on this shitty ramp, and suddenly they've amassed a crowd of hundreds.
Yeah. But then later they act surprised that one of the daggers knows where the ramp is. Like, you invited the entirety of Venice Beach to come out and watch you.
Bruh, I knew every one of those 326 people, and you were not in the crowd, bruh.
Steve was there, Mersh was there, Stinky Joe was there. They came down from Mulholland. They took the San Antonio. They took they took the Santa Monica cutoff down on Vicente, off of Hollywood, and they got here. Okay. I saw them and I was like, "What are you doing here?"
Californians. Classic.
Yeah.
I gotta say, out of the group, I think I probably enjoy Bozo the most.
That's Harpo Marx's grandson.
That's what I thought. His last name was Marx, and he like had facial similarities
and hair similarities.
The hair was passed down through generations.
If they got Groucho Marx's grandson, he would have had this giant push broom on his face.
Oh man! So the dude with the hat, what the hell's his name? The Johnny Depp looking guy.
I don't know. Okay. I just called him Joey Jeremiah.
I did not remember. First of all, after the first viewing of this, I did not remember a single name, but now I've got them. So that is Radley, also known as the Radster.
Oh, solid nickname.
Yep.
So, just one thing sticks out for me from the beginning is when they see a bunch of ladies.
Oh my god!
I just want to put this in. I think Jerika's probably going to save us on knowing the characters' names in this movie because I don't even remember Josh Brolin's character really all that much.
Corey Webster.
Yeah, Corey Webster.
But yeah, they're like, they see these ladies and they're like catcalling, and then immediately after catcalling, he's like, "I'm classy." Like, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's got a fedora. Yeah.
That's right. But like, just like the way, I'm classy. If you have to tell someone you're classy, you're probably not classy.
Yeah, if you have to yell at women like in bikinis on the street and like sexually harass them and then be like, "But I'm classy. I'm friends with this guy. I'm classy."
That's right. It's like, wait, I was like, whoa, are we to assume that Brolin has a sparkling, clean reputation?
You just don't understand. It was a different time, guys. It was a different time.
You're right.
That's
Where
true.
yelling at women
years
from
ago.
passing cars was perfectly acceptable.
And then the village people arrive.
Oh my god.
What else can be said about the entrance of the villain and his gang of daggers.
Okay, I actually want to ask about this because they see them and they're like all in awe of them, and someone says, "Yeah, he's real fancy with his name as Hook, but I knew him when he was Ralph from the Valley." Right?
He was talking about Monk.
Oh,
he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't talking about Hook.
Okay, because that was a source of confusion for me. Because later on in the movie, I'm like, his name's Tommy, not Ralph.
Yeah, no, they're talking about what Monk, the dagger.
Jerika already saving the day.
Look at that research.
Yeah.
Now the daggers were definitely. I didn't know who any of them. I didn't remember who any of them were besides Hook. Like, I only found out after that Velvet was his girlfriend because it was Sherilyn Fenn. But like, I didn't know any of them really.
I just know Monk.
Yeah, well, I knew Monk because that he has some fisticuffery later in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
He gets called out.
Hook makes a George Michael-esque entrance.
Oh, and can I ask you? These guys are supposed to be scumbag, ne'er-do-well lowlives. They are the tidiest, most kept together scumbags I've ever seen.
Right,
nary a hair out of place.
What do they do when they skateboard by the car? Why they just tap it?
Oh, they climb, they jump over it. Somebody does. They go over it because the ramp locals get out and look at the top of the car because it's been dented a little bit.
Yeah, they are a vicious gang.
Absolutely. They see that kid on the skateboard and that little baby on the skateboard and they just politely wave at him as they skateboard by.
That's right, and tussle his hair lightly.
You're going to be a scumbag like us someday, kid. Keep skating.
I wonder how many times they had to reshoot that.
Because the kid fell off the board?
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, thinking. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, and they also... Hook does this thing where they find, like, this guy in a van, and he does this, like... he, like, walks up it, flips back. The guy barely reacts. Like, he puts his fist in the air in the most half-hearted way I've ever seen.
And then he's just like, okay, guys, we're cool to go around now. I jumped on this truck. Let's go.
Right? What did that accomplish?
Well, now we know how menacing he is. He's just jumping on trucks.
Just jumping on... I mean, I got how menacing he was just from the earring alone.
There's actually several times in this movie where they accost people where I thought, you know what? I'm pretty sure that the person who's backing down could probably take them.
Like the breakdancers?
The breakdancers, the people on the bus.
Breaking is a memory, they tell him. And then the breakdancer, when they tell him breaking is a memory, they look like a cartoon character getting sad.
Yeah, he's like defeated.
He just lowers his whole body down.
And then they kick his boombox over.
Okay.
Jerks.
So, we haven't really talked about the story. We just talked about the daggers running around. But guess what, guys? That's basically been the story up to this point.
Yep. Because they're heading to, like actually a pretty famous area in Southern California. That place where they're at, where they're all skating, that's actually in, I think, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Oh, okay.
That area, the buildings and stuff where they're skating, where they're like, I don't think we should be here, man. And then another guy tells them to go back to the valley.
Yeah, and that guy, there's a guy in the daggers who tells him to go back. He has the delivery of, like, what's that guy? Charles Nelson Riley. He's like, get out of here! That's all I could think of when he talked.
You may have to edit a bit on that. You just went total robot there for a second in my head.
If only they had gotten Charles Nelson Riley for that cameo.
You need to go back to the valley.
Go back to the valley.
Hey, you don't mess around with CNR. It's just put that out there.
That's right. So then we see these people doing like skateboard tricks or whatever, but that's not the important thing because we see Chrissy.
Oh my God, yes, and they're immediately in love. So
yeah, that's what I know. He sees her and he's just like, need to hook up right now. Like, he walks right over to her. She gets pulled away, and Josh Brolin looks like he was just broken up with someone after a 40-year relationship.
He looks so sad. His eyes are so sad.
But I get that from him, but I nothing from her.
Yeah, she's kind of got the non-moving face.
She's on Valium. She's on Valium. She's got Kristen Stewart face.
She doesn't emote a whole lot.
But no, you can still skate in the downhill.
I need to go back to Indiana.
But that's the thing, that you told me that Velvet was supposed to be her. I would have... Oh my god. I was more interested in Velvet than I was interested in Chrissy. 100%.
Also, why does she go to this place again? To look after her brother?
Yeah.
Well, that's what she posits.
Okay. Like, what does their mother expect her to be able to do?
I really have... Maybe she's just observing and reporting.
To, like, Seth Rogen?
Kind of.
Like, does their mother expect her to rein in one of the most dangerous gangs in California?
Jesus, Murphy. How dangerous... They own a house.
Oh my god. Oh my
Somebody
god.
was able to get a mortgage. How dangerous can they be?
Guys, can we talk about the design of the house?
And how just the design is just daggers spray painted everywhere.
Yes.
It looks like they said, all right, crew, we've got to make this look like a skateboard house, so grab this spray paint and go nuts.
I got a dagger stencil. Can we use that 500 times? Sure, kid. To your heart's content.
They are not getting the damage deposit back.
I'm almost positive the amount of remodeling they did that they own that place. Because there's no landlord in his right mind who would be like, yeah, you guys have spray painted daggers everywhere, built a bunch of ramps, you're doing jumps off the roof. I'll keep taking your rent money.
That's right. Every time we see the house, there's like people skateboarding on the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do these guys have nothing else to do?
No. They don't.
Because they win competitions.
They have to take a lot of group photos. They do that. I mean, that takes up a good chunk of the time.
I'm just imagining this movie getting made today with a selfie-taken skate gang.
That's right. I really wanted to see that photo later, though. That was
Monk,
kind of a letdown
get
for
your
me.
selfie stick, brah.
Get your selfie stick. Bruh, I can't hold it because I'm holding my skateboard in my other hand.
Well, dude, put your skateboard down. I can't do that, Hook.
Skate or die.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, but before we get to the Dagger house, they remodel that car.
They destroy
And
Bozo's car.
When they said, we're going to paint it, I was like, okay, you're going to paint it. They turned that thing into the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life.
That's the
it looks
thing.
like
They're
the
supposed
Dagger's
to be
house.
Southern Californian skate punks, so that's what they would do to that sort of thing.
To a shitty... And, like, so they're all mechanics, too?
No, it was...
Just Radster.
Yeah, just the Radster. Man, if my shop class teacher could see me now, he'd be ashamed of making me waste all those time on ashtrays.
This looks like an ashtray.
Ugh.
And of course, we don't get the scene where like Bose's father's like beating him for
Oh yeah. Well,
I would have
I watched
that
I watched
just
it
a
on Friday night with
5-minute
a friend of
beatdown.
mine, and when they did that scene and they drove off, I leaned over to him and I was like, and he was never seen again because his father literally murdered him.
Right?
Because we're to believe that's a brand new car.
Yep, brand new.
So.
And he just rips the roof off. That's what you do to make a convertible.
When you're a skeezy Southern Californian skate punk, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not a convertible, it's a cabriolet.
Oh my god.
Right.
That's Hungarian for fast car, brah. Oh man. Yeah, so they do that to the car. I totally forgot about that. And okay. So when we go to the Dagger's house, I'm just going to say this right now, guys. I don't care. I feel like Hook wants to fuck his sister.
I literally have that.
There's a lot of weird tension between them.
You're gonna be the most beautiful girl at the club.
Picking out his earring and stuff.
He doesn't give a shit
Doesn't wear
about
a
his
shirt around
girlfriend.
her at all.
No.
Ugh.
I'm really glad I'm not the only one who saw the incestuous vibe of this
Oh
movie.
God, no.
Otherwise, the rest of this podcast would have been awkward. Yeah, like, it's just a weird tension between them. I wonder if they were actually dating at the time. That would have been funny. Like Dexter and what's her
Jennifer
face?
Carpenter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the next big set piece is that they go to the skateboard Thrashin party.
Josh Brolin, the scene where he's getting ready for that. Okay, he momentarily, I thought he was going to leave the house looking like the Unabomber because he puts the baseball hat on and the sunglasses. But then he's like, nah, man, I'm just going to go out and not wear a shirt.
Can you imagine if he put the sunglasses on and then they were like, you ready? He's like, yeah, I just got to send this letter first, brah.
Harvard, sending it to Harvard.
That's right. Technology sucks, huh? Let's go to this party.
And this actually brings up an interesting point for me, anyways, the aspect of this movie. The music is all over the place because there are some legitimately good musical cues in this movie. Like, Red Hot Chili Peppers perform like early Chili Peppers. It's a fantastic little bit. That's one of my favorite parts of this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
They have like the circle jerks as one of the sound cues during that getaway chase scene that comes later. But then they also got like this really terrible pop music that they put in there too. Like during the love scene, and then there's other parts where they're skating around and it sounds like a Kenny Loggins song.
Yeah.
Well, there is a song, and I actually had it stuck in my head for the past 2 days. One of the songs in this movie.
Love begin.
No, not that one.
Okay.
And then I found out that the person who wrote that song did the singing voice for Gem and the Hologram. So it all makes sense, obviously.
This was why we chose this. This movie chose you, Jerika.
Exactly.
So is the skateboard party, is this a real thing? Like, is this a thing that happens? Is there parties with the dance floor filled with people on skateboards?
Not to my knowledge.
I've never been to one.
The only skateboard party I know about is a bootleg by the Dead Kennedys, so it might be a real thing. I don't know.
And okay, another question I have to ask, because I'm not super familiar with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like, obviously I know they are, but like, in 1986, were they a big deal?
They were just breaking out. They were
Okay.
starting to come up. This was kind of like them, kind of getting a little bit on the map, sort of thing.
But they definitely were nationally known.
I would say they were known like in the skate scene in California.
Yeah.
Like that would be a big get for that area, but people in like the East Coast would be like, who are these people?
Yeah, they wouldn't like tour to Minnesota. No one would care there.
Okay, because when I saw them, I thought they were already fairly big at the time, and I was like, why would they be at a skateboard party?
Yeah,
no.
But if they were, okay, that makes sense now. See, you totally debunked my my idea.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
I thought we were all getting along here, but
you really need to do your research on the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Brendan, before you bring it.
Apparently, I've failed. So I mean, yes. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. It'll just be Jerika and I from now for the rest of the podcast. Now that Brendan has left,
I'm back.
Oh, god damn it!
I'm over it. This is the first. Also, this scene is the first interaction we get between Josh Brolin and Chrissy, played by Pamela Gidley.
And it's a montage.
When he drags her physically out of the club.
Yes.
Right. Come outside with me. Don't worry, it's safe.
Oh yes. Before the montage, they have like the
best line in the movie
conversation as well.
Don't you remember this exchange? What do you thrash? What do you got?
Oh, yes.
Her response was literally my response, because all she says is, oh, God.
Yep.
Right. And she even says, in case the kids don't get it, she says, the wild one. just so everybody makes sure they get the reference.
I was watching it, and it's like, okay, Brolin, you're not Brando, you're not James Dean. In fact,
Not even.
you look like Justin Bieber.
He does kind of look like
He
Justin
does.
Bieber.
He is Bieber Brolin, 100%. Shaggy
Brolin.
hair, vapid expression on his face. It's really throughout the entire movie. Once I made that connection, I couldn't stop seeing it.
His voice sounds super different to me throughout the movie. Like, it doesn't sound like Josh Brolin.
It's because
sometimes.
there's a ton of ADR in this movie, maybe?
Yeah, and I feel like the ADR he did when he had like a cold or something.
That's a possibility.
Because
they have the montage next where they're going around town.
But he also gets her to go on the skateboard, don't forget. And then he says, live dangerously.
She's like fantastic. She can do like the spin without falling over.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's get to the montage. This is a good part.
Really? Is it?
Oh, yeah, one of the best.
Because she does some... They do some stuff where they just kind of cruise... They run around in downtown L.A., Hollywood, or whatever, and she's kind of casually racist towards the ends of it.
Yes! Thank you!
Yes, she is.
Bowing to the Japanese people and then laughing like, haha, their culture is so different from ours.
So apparently the perfect night out with Bieber Brolin is to go to a bouncy castle.
Yep.
Laugh at some devil-horned mannequins.
Right.
Yep.
It's the funniest fucking thing they've ever seen.
And then be casually racist to a group of Japanese tourists.
Oh, and also... Josh Brolin suggests fucking on the first date.
Oh, the casual sex, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he does a running flip into the wall, and she hugs him like it's like the most amazing thing that she's ever seen in his life.
She claps her hands like, yay, you're the bestest!
Hook is her brother. I'm sure she's seen someone do that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally Hook does it all the time. We've seen him do it already.
He does it off moving trucks, brah.
But then at the end of their little night out montage, they have the ADR.
Oh my god, when they're saying goodnight?
Even before that, when they're looking at the clock. She's like pointing to the clock and her mouth's kind of moving, but it's like the sound of the voice is, oh my god, I can't believe how late it is. I've got that meet in the morning. And then they say their goodbyes. And it sounds like they're next to each other talking, but they're across the street from each other.
That's right. Yeah. Like, how did they hear each other?
Did you guys notice at one point that she like looks directly into the camera?
I did not.
Yep. And then they do not edit it out.
Well, I mean, the editor was probably a skateboarder based on the choices made in this movie.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of B footage in this movie.
Oh, and then we get Chrissy's boyfriend, her brother, waiting up for her when she gets home.
And I'm almost positive, because of this scene, he's bipolar.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think it runs in the family.
Flips like a switch.
Yeah, because he's where have you been? I've been worried about you. And he's all mad because she left the club, and then she's like, oh, I was hanging out with somebody, I met somebody. He's like, oh, that's so nice, that's super great. Who is it? And then she says who it is, and he flips out again.
Yeah. And don't drink that orange juice, it's foul.
Yeah.
That made me laugh for like a solid minute.
And then he's like, go back to Indiana. And then she's like, well, I will. Well, no, don't go back to Indiana.
Right. Chrissy, I care about you. And then his girlfriend's like, coming back to bed? He's like, yeah, after I go to bed with her.
Although he gives us one of the best lines when he's like, the wild Indian look happens to be in right now.
Right. Because she mocks it or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about.
I wonder if anybody knew what they were talking about in this movie.
I don't know. I feel like drugs were involved.
You know what? Drugs, half shirts, and slang. That's all this movie was.
so many half shirts.
Ugh. And I get it was a fashion choice at the time, but I mean, not everybody wore half shirts.
No. Well, I mean, 95% of the population.
Yeah. Okay. I was there, Brendan. I was alive in '86.
You still wear half shirts, so...
I walk around like Ralphus.
That's right.
Like big old gut hanging out. Hey, you like my half shirt? I'm working on my beach body.
Working on my beach bod. Then we get the first... okay, what is this? Is this like a competition? This scene coming up?
Yeah, it is actually a competition. It was actually the footage that they use in a lot of the scene was from a legitimate competition.
That's what I thought.
Kind of like when they did the legitimate concert at the beginning of Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Same thing here. In fact, the injury when they take the guy out of the pool because he like broke his ankle or something like that, that wasn't a stunt double. That wasn't a put on. That really happened during the movie during the competition.
Now, I'm not a skateboarder, guys. I know you guys have skateboarded a lot, but
I'm skateboarding right now.
I think we all are right now, aren't we?
Both of you. I love skateboarding back in the day.
Guys, we are all skateboarding right now while recording this podcast. Hopefully no one throws
judo kick right
tiny
now.
nuts and bolts in front of our path.
Jacks. They were jacks.
They were jacks.
Yeah.
Okay. But, okay, because when he threw it, I was like, would that really be enough to cause him to, like, bust his knee? Or bust his shoulder or whatever?
Well, I know that a big enough rock will throw you from a skateboard.
Okay.
Because I've had that happen.
I wasn't by.
I just didn't understand how literally nobody saw him do it. Like there are dozens of extras, there are judges, and they're just tossing jacks that nobody notices.
And
Well,
it's
look how
not
long
like he
it took
tries
to catch the guy from the Blue Jays game.
That's right. It doesn't even look like he's trying to hide it either.
No, he's not.
Well, dude,
He's
they're
like,
daggers.
gotta throw these jacks. See, I would have liked if he had thrown tiny daggers.
Oh, that was a missed opportunity.
It was a total missed opportunity. So Josh Brolin falls, busts open his shoulder, and then then they reveal that it was the daggers in the best reveal ever. And we meet the creepy old skateboard inventor.
Actually, before we get to that, there's a line in here that I actually Mystery Science Theatered when they did it, because when they found the jacks, the guy didn't say anything. He just holds up the jacks, looks at Josh Brolin, and says, "Daggers." And I couldn't help myself. I'm like, no, they're jacks, stupid. End scene.
I will actually say this is a good opportunity for me to say that the guy who says daggers, I had a dream about him last night. So this movie is now infiltrating my life.
If you wanted, I would take a look online and see what it looks like now, because I'm guessing time hasn't been kind.
He is dead, so...
That is unfortunate!
Oh!
So time really hasn't been kind.
Dead. Time really hasn't been kind. You know what, though? He might actually look better.
So yeah, let's talk about the old guy with the panel van at the skate competition filled with young kids.
Sam Flood, who just shows up selling skateboards out of the back of his truck.
Yeah.
To teenagers.
Absolutely fine. Nothing creepy about it at all.
Nothing weird about that whatsoever.
And he even tells Josh Brolin, when he's giving him kind of the tour of his facilities, "I'm only signing the guys that are hot."
Right! I was like, I know what you mean, but that didn't come out right.
Yeah, poor choice of words.
Didn't it come out right, though?
You know what? Maybe.
For our purposes, yes.
And I feel like that guy can't say smash skates, because every time he says it, it's like, smash skates! Like
the jowls are getting in the way.
Right, he mashes the words together. I thought he was saying, if you skate, you'll smash gates. Like, as in you'll break, like, box office attendance records or something.
Because this movie did that.
Right, because it's nowhere.
Well, it made so much money that they couldn't publish it.
They didn't want to brag about it.
Right. It you know.
It's actually a tax fraud case currently
This
on the
movie did better than Avatar, so.
Guys, you were wondering what was going to break
Dark Knight
Avatar's
Rises, and then there's this movie. They're like just neck and neck.
Oh man, imagine this on a double bill with like Rad.
I would imagine that. Well, that's an excellent choice. I would also enjoy it as a double bill with Gleaming the Cube.
See, I still haven't seen that.
Fantastic. Christian Slater and his skate gang solving mysteries.
Oh my god.
They solve a murder mystery. Tony Hawk is in the movie, and he actually has a speaking role, and he works at Pizza Hut.
What?
I'm telling you, Brendan, I enjoyed watching this movie, but you would have got Judgment Night levels of excitement out of me if we were watching Gleaming the Cube.
Tony Hawk selling pizza.
Yeah, pizza delivery.
Okay, and, like I have a question now.
Okay.
This Sam Flood guy, Smash Skates.
Right.
What? Okay, he makes the skateboards. I'm guessing the shittiest fucking skateboards ever. By the way,
ugliest things I've ever seen.
Green with a logo on like a lopsided end of it.
Yep.
But he says something like, "What is he? He's offering Josh Brolin a sponsorship. Is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
Like in like skate competitions. I don't really understand.
Well, that's kind of how that world works. If you watch any X Games or anything like that, the guys who are in those competition, they get sponsors that pay them money to use their gear, and it serves as like an advertisement for them. So, like, say if somebody like Tony Hawk, who got signed to Birdhouse, all of his designs get made by Birdhouse Skateboards, and anytime he skates, he uses Birdhouse equipment. So if he wins like gold at the X Games, Tony Hawk did it, and he did it with the help of Birdhouse.
Okay.
I've said Birdhouse far too many times.
At first, I thought he was just offering him a job in the factory.
No.
It's like, he's like, if you skate real well, you can work in my warehouse. Like,
Did you guys notice what Josh Brolin was wearing in that warehouse?
A half shirt?
He was wearing the exact same thing he wore to the party, the no shirt with the red jacket. And I'm like, you're in a business meeting, dude.
And isn't it like the next day?
Yeah.
At the skate competition, because that's when he goes up to talk to the guy.
Oh my god. Do you guys remember also when they're in that scene that he's like, bite down on this?
Yes. And Josh Brolin just looks at him like...
So he only signs the hot guys that are hot, and he wants them to bite down on this.
I thought there was going to be a sexual assault scene at this point in the movie. And I was ready for it.
Can we move on to them carefree skating downtown as they jump hobos?
And this scene is like, feels like 20 minutes.
Oh my god, it does.
Because the next scene after this is just the guys skateboarding through town forever.
Well, there's actually a part, and we noticed it, and maybe it's just our ADD kicking in when we watched. My friend and I were big Trailer Park Boy fans. There's a guy that looks like Cyrus as one of the extras that walk by. Okay. Cyrus from the Trailer Park Boys. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. I just wanted to get that in there. And anybody who does those.
Oh no, I know who you're talking about, but I did not see that.
No, he had the leather jacket, the slick back hair, the black glasses, everything. I was halfway expecting to tell him to fuck off that he had work to do.
Oh, and then so this scene fucking just goes on forever, and then
they jump a homeless man.
Yep, they do.
Right. At this point in the movie, I'm like, are we supposed to like these guys? Look, they're yelling out of their car. They're classy yelling at women. They're going to these shitty parties.
Right. Check. I'm going down my hero checklist as you say this.
I was gonna say, like, as the girl here, I think I would date a couple of them. But But for
Like
the
Brolin?
No, it
Oh,
would be
yeah.
Hook because he's a bad boy, but he looks like Prince, and he clearly is
My
a stickler
God,
for the rules.
no, I would date, I would date Bose. He seems like he's the genuinely nicest one out of them.
Bozo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
well, that's
about
because
what?
he's
Oh,
hapless.
we haven't even mentioned that they have kidnapped a small child.
Okay, this is the one character whose name I never figured out.
Oh, because he's only in it for like a couple of comic bits. Like
I
they
think
kick him
his
out of the
name.
car.
I think. Oh, you don't even mention the best part because that's coming
No,
up
don't.
later.
Yeah.
I was just gonna talk about when they were gonna go to the skate dance, and they kick him out of the car because and he flips him off and says, "I hope you don't get laid."
Right. I'm like, you're 9 years old.
But I thought that was kind of funny.
I would have loved that as a subplot if they had actually kidnapped that child.
They got arrested at the end of the movie. After
Yeah,
the skate competition, the cops swarmed them.
You kidnapped a kid. Okay, the character's name is Little Stevie.
Okay.
And his the only thing I can find is that he was one of the writers of The Girl Next Door with Alicia Cuthbert.
Okay.
Oh, I hated that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good movie.
I like Timothy Oliphant in it.
Yeah, he's
He's good in
scary.
it.
Yeah.
And he wrote the characters for Van Wilder. No, he wrote. Yeah, he didn't even. No, he wrote Van Wilder, the movie,
Yeah.
and then he was credited as characters on The Rise of Taj and Freshman Year.
Truly,
Okay.
yeah.
He
A
kind of
Renaissance man.
he kind of looks like he's given up acting for pretty much the most part. But yeah, so he's doing okay, guys. So don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, where the hell are we in this movie?
We are now at the part where
Well, Radster's gonna embarrass Bose in front of the girls.
yanks his pants down while he's skateboarding to them.
Right, Radster's a dick. I gotta say.
Oh, he's an absolute
yeah.
schwanz.
Absolutely. He is the worst.
But then again, when he does it, everybody else is laughing too. Like I just think Bozo just gets bullied by them.
Yeah, because he's the hapless one of the group.
Right.
He just wants friends, and
He
they
just
take
wants
advantage of that. They're dicks, 100%.
I kind of rooted for the daggers.
Well, and the next thing that comes up kind of will actually reinforce that, Brennan, because Brolin calls the Dagger household looking for Chrissy.
Right.
And
Yeah, on
Hook
the
answers the phone,
payphone.
and he's super polite.
And did anyone else think when you just saw the arm reaching for the phone, you're like, oh, that's Chrissy? Because that does not look like a man's arm.
Well,
I was like, oh, Chrissy. So I was actually swerved just like Josh Brolin was.
because he doesn't yell at him or say he's going to kill him really much or anything. He's like, yeah, she's not here, and please don't call back.
Right.
He's the politest scumbag ever.
And then he's like, heard you got hurt. Sorry about that. And he's like, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, one more thing. And then just lightly hangs up.
Right. And they call each other, they say you're dead meat. Both of them say it to each other. Because he's like, if you come here, you're dead meat. And then he's like, yeah, well, after tomorrow, you're dead meat. I'm like, what? The way he says it isn't even okay, someone would say if you come after her, you're dead meat. Well, yeah, well, tomorrow, you're dead meat. But he doesn't say that.
What may have happened in this situation is that because the two scenes were shot away from each other, that there was supposed to be something else the other guy was supposed to end the line with. Right. If you come near her again, pal, and I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Well, after tomorrow, you're going to be dead meat.
Right.
Which is because nice. It complements itself, right?
The tone doesn't work at all.
No.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
And that's where the movie fell apart for me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, with the phone call, yeah. I was really into it up until that point.
I believed everything until that phone call, and I was like, okay.
Are you serious? You didn't believe the pathos and feelings that old Joshin Bieber had when he went skating next? By the way, the person in this B-roll of him skating out his feelings, not Joshin Bieber at all.
Right. No, of course not. At least it wasn't like in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Parkour. It was an African-American gentleman.
That would have been fantastic.
But there's no makeup, so there's no way to hide it. It's just like Mario Van Peebles or something. So this is the point where
Romeo and Juliet story.
Right, because he says, "Don't ever see my sister again." So what does he do? He goes and gets in a tree and acts like a total creeper staring in the window.
Yes.
Yep.
And she sees him, and she's not. She doesn't say, "Oh my God, what the hell are you doing here?" She's like, "Oh, you."
She's just like, "This is such a coincidence. I came outside and you're in my tree."
Because I don't know if you guys know, but girls actually like it when you spy on them through windows in a tree near their house.
Back to the Future taught us anything.
Now you just can do that with Facebook, but back then they didn't have that technology.
An oak tree outside of her house was your Facebook.
Oh, she's studying! Looks like a pretty good apple.
And then apparently she eats the biggest sundae ever.
Oh my God, I know. Like, what? What was that?
That was... And they finished it.
Yeah.
Like, was it... Now, wait, did he help her, or was it just her eating it?
Well...
I thought it was just her.
I like to believe that, too. That it was
now,
just
notice
her
that...
hogging it down.
I hope there's a deleted scene of them just eating that entire sundae.
Her with a face covered in ice cream.
And then he says something inappropriate regarding, like, the white ice cream or something.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, so, of course.
He's like, "That's a good look for you." And then they go have their scene.
After he gives her this necklace.
The shittiest looking fucking thing I've ever seen.
He's like, "I made it in art club."
Yeah. And I think the only reason why she was drawn to it is because she likes shiny things.
Yes, that's right.
It sparkles and it caught her eye.
I'm surprised she doesn't tell him to get a bone for his nose. Sorry to go back to that, but I forgot about
looks real popular right now.
Back to his little trailer.
Because the daggers show up.
They go to the Bone Zone, back in his trailer.
The Bone Zone!
And, you know what?
The lead up.
They look like the most disinterested screwers in the history of film.
Just the lead up to it when she's like, "Would you want to be held like that?"
Like the drawing of the spider?
Yes.
They talk about his skate design.
Yeah, "Would you want to be grabbed like that?"
Does it seem like she took his lines?
Exactly. I was like, what?
I feel like
it's a role reversal for sure.
They're like, "We're progressive, guys."
I think it'd be great if they did that. And she said that, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm just a small Indiana farm girl."
They just didn't change a thing. They just say each other's lines. I feel like Pamela Gidley just read the wrong line off the cue card.
That's a possibility.
Which is apparently right behind the camera, because Jerika said she stares at the camera.
But then, even when they go into this sex scene, there are parts of it that it's like she's holding him. Like, I think he was supposed to have been holding her. Like, when she's behind him.
Right.
And he like turns to kiss her, and I was like, this is not sexy.
Little did we know this movie introduced the concept of pegging.
Yeah.
She's like, he's doing the, like, looking back kiss. And yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, isn't this normally the other way around?
It must, like, all I can think is that, like, he was willing to show his nips, but she wasn't willing to show hers, so.
Well, this is PG-13, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were going for that R rate. You know, that would have helped the movie a little bit.
I think you guys are just trying to explain this away. That she was totally pegging Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. I'm gonna call him that for the rest of my life. Oh my lord!
But
So
during this scene has that fantastic Gem and the Holograms song.
Does it?
Let the love begin. And it's almost like the every word in the song narrates what they should be doing in the scene.
Right. I feel maybe they played it on set to help them, and then they're just like, yeah, just fuck it, throw it in the movie.
I was so uncomfortable during this sex scene.
And you watched it, and did you watch it by yourself?
Yeah.
See, that's gonna be uncomfortable.
They're both still supposed to be in high school. I'm guessing. It
shows how uncomfortable a sex scene is if you're uncomfortable watching it with no one else in the room.
Yeah, I was just sitting and I was just so uncomfortable. I couldn't stop laughing. It was just like, this is one of the most awkward sex scenes I've ever seen in a film.
Oh, you haven't seen Hollywood Homicide.
Oh, can we not talk about that?
Actually, you have seen that movie, haven't you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Nathan's gonna gag for a while now.
No, we can roll on past it.
We don't have to talk about Harrison Ford having sex. But anyway, so the best sex scene ever is what we're saying.
Yes, yeah.
And then they have another great from far away talking ADR moment, I think.
Which sounds like they're right next to each other while they're talking.
Right, which they can totally hear each other with that volume.
They're easily 20 feet, maybe 30 feet away from each other, and they're like, I'll call you next week.
Good night.
No, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye. And then, so he drops her off. The daggers spot him, and we get a great chase sequence
with the circle jerks. Awesome music cue. That running wall. I love that.
Did you? For a second, I thought you were saying, "Wow, Brendan Wall." It's like what?
Great. Now I'm Weird Alling that song now, and it's gonna be about you.
Aw.
That's sweet.
Oh, I didn't say it was going to be complimentary.
Aw.
That's sweet.
But yes, thank you. They do have the chase scene, and at one point they're skating down a spiral parking garage.
Yep.
How did they get so high up?
I don't know.
They started on the street.
At one point, this guy flies over the edge while they're still 2 or 3 stories up, and I'm like, okay, well, he died.
They don't stop to call the ambulance for their friend who's in their gang.
Daggers work independently, bro.
It made me think of the whole daggers thing. It made me think of Homer Simpson's Hell's Satan's episode, where he's like, you could defeat us, you could put me in jail, but you'll never defeat the Cobras. you could stop one guy, but you'll never defeat the daggers. You can throw guy from a parking structure, but you'll never defeat the daggers.
As long as Hook is okay, we'll be fine.
And Monk.
Yeah,
and Monk.
So, Nathan, did you realize a connection between this movie and Judgment Night in this scene? Because Josh Brolin tries to stop a bus.
Oh, yes, but he succeeds. He doesn't.
No, I know, but I was like, that's 2 movies in a row where a character has yelled at a bus driver to stop and let them on in the midst of a chase.
Yes, but because they were in the middle of, bombed out Sarajevo downtown Chicago, the bus driver lets him on.
Right, and he somehow gets on the roof in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like an old bus. There was the windows didn't look like they opened. There was no port on the top.
Also, how does Hook get there, you might ask? By hanging out on the back of a moped. A random guy. I feel like people in LA in this movie are very accommodating. You can just ride on the back of their motorcycles. You can get in the bus and hang out on the roof.
Yeah, and then when they don't see him, they're like, well, I guess he got away. And it's like, would you not have seen him get away? You were standing there watching the bus. Like, where do you think he went?
And this is another point where they're supposed to be imposing or intimidating, and there are at least 4 people on that bus who could have taken them.
The bus driver being one of them.
Yes.
I thought the bus driver was going to kick their asses.
I
He's
said
like,
75 cents!
75 cents! 75 cents, kids, you punks! So am I to believe that he didn't charge Josh Brolin?
Yeah, exactly. Josh Brolin, nice guy, doesn't have to pay, but those
I'm
daggers.
So do they? So the bus driver just assumes that Brolin's a nice guy?
Well, we don't see it. Maybe he did have some 75 cents in his half shirt somewhere.
Maybe he took it from the nightstand at Chrissy's house, or that trailer. That would have been his own trailer, not
That's his trailer, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an RV in Tyler's backyard.
It's his guest RV because it's not his. He's staying there.
Right. So how do the daggers get their revenge, guys?
Arson.
By burning down their ramp. In, like, the greatest, like, yeah, we did it! It's fucking over! If they could put
While
that
they're throwing articles of their clothing and stuff in there to leave evidence and everything behind.
Right, but I'm just going to say, if they put that ramp up in 30 seconds, guys, you really didn't cause that much damage.
No. They will have another one built.
It's all mason board. The most expensive thing that would have gone into it was the lumber supports.
But that one ramp local is so mad. Like, it's like his life's work that went into that.
Well, that's Tyler, so that is his ramp.
Tyler, okay, see, I didn't even know his name.
And then he goes, and they have the slowest fight scene, I think. I felt like everything was at half speed when they were, like,
well, they had to...
each other.
It's like when Bruce Lee would film martial arts movies, they had to, like, slow it down because, see, what was happening was Monk was too fast for the cameras.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And then the greatest scene in the movie.
Oh, my God, I love it.
When Hook challenges Brolin to meet him for a joust and says, "You be there." And then what happens after that?
Stevie
no,
says
you
it,
be there!
Yeah.
A random cutaway to that 8-year-old child that they've kidnapped.
Little Stevie.
And little Stevie, who doesn't even look like he's in the scene.
No, he's not in the country, I don't think.
He's just got his shades on. No, you be there! And then he's like, "Shut up, Dink," or something like that.
As I said, where is that boy's Oscar?
Lost to time.
But
Like,
after
you know what? He
after
could have
they
won it.
settle on that with the joust, after they settle on it, Chrissy's torn.
Yeah.
And doesn't Velvet say, like, you're either with us or you're against us?
Who says it?
Velvet.
Oh, yeah. See, okay, I gotta say, Velvet, like you said, Sherilyn Fenn would have been better for that lead role.
So
I
much
honestly think Velvet is, like, she's the only character with, like, pathos or whatever. Like, she has, like, conflicting feelings and everything. Like, I think she's, like, pretty much the most believable character in the movie.
I think the reason being is that there's supposed to be a good tinge of anger to most of the stuff that she delivers, and she is super pissed that she is now secondary to Little Miss Vapid.
Mm. But even Brolin, in, like, even as she, like, she doesn't, like, switch sides, but, you know, when Chrissy is like, "Oh, don't tell Hook," she, like, doesn't tell Hook that Josh Brolin is, like, peeping. Like, she has, like, she's a more of a complex character than anyone else.
Yeah.
Mm.
What were you going to say about Josh Brolin? Sorry.
No, so he has he gives, like, the best line delivery when Chrissy's like, "Don't go. Chrissy, I'm going, okay?"
Like, Daw and stuff.
Chrissy! He does sound pretty whiny in that scene.
Yeah, yeah. Just
that scene. But that's the scene where I thought his voice sounded the most different from the rest of the movie. Like, I was like, is that... what? I thought that wasn't Josh Brolin for a second. So
now we go to the joust.
Oh my god, the joust.
And
Well, first,
is it
first
really?
we get ready for the joust.
Oh yes, we have to get ready
And-
for the joust.
And Velvet cuts off a lock of her hair.
Oh, and
and-
puts on her kabuki makeup.
Yep.
And Hook is dressed like the Blue Meanie.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually, those look like he's got like apostrophes on his face. Like his eye makeup looks like 2 apostrophes on his face.
Okay, I have to ask though, because Brendan, you hadn't seen this movie before, right?
Right.
What were you expecting when we hear joust? Because this was not what I was expecting when I heard joust.
Well, when I heard joust, I would expect some sort of weapon, maybe like a plank of wood or a stick or something that they would try to hit each other with.
You want to know what I was expecting in like 1988 or 87 when I saw this movie as a kid? Even as a kid who was like 10 at the time, I was at least expecting to be swinging broomsticks at each other while they skateboarded past each other.
Well, that's what I mean. Like something that closely resembles a joust.
Yeah.
Not
I was not
pillows.
expecting. Yeah. Or man
you-
purses.
They look like those crappy prizes you get at like the fair. You know, or
Yeah.
if you were like, you know, they're just a stupid heart pillow that you would like either hang on a mirror in a teen girl's bedroom or from the rear view window of your car or something like that. Cheaply made, just a pillow that's shaped like a heart.
Also, this scene gets very violent because obviously it degenerates into a fist fight. But in
At
theory,
first, it's hilarious though.
the joust is you hitting each other with heart pillows, and they're like, "This is the most dangerous thing you can do."
Yeah.
Like they pretty much made me think they were gonna like try to burn each other or something. Like,
Well, yeah,
I
because
don't-
there's like fire and they're on a skate ramp. So, I mean, if they go with the idea like, yeah, they're actually going to be swinging sticks or something at each other or baseball bats or something like that, that could be legitimately dangerous. As soon as they bring out the heart pillow maces, it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
yeah.
Yeah, at no point in this scene was I scared for anybody. Was I worried for anybody? Like the daggers are just not menacing people.
Is it really that foggy in Southern California?
The mist that they walk through.
Mm-hmm.
Man, imagine if it had turned into like the movie The Mist at that point.
If everybody was just devoured by a fog, filled with monsters, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. Great ending.
But I will say this, when I was watching the joust, I really wanted, like, Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross to call the action.
My God, he's got a family!
Get him off him!
So he, like, I'm pretty sure Hook almost kills him because he wants to throw him into a fire.
To be
Yeah,
fair, Justin Bieber ripped his earring out.
Oh, right, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
No, neither did I.
Yep, he rips his earring out, and that's what drives him into his homicidal rage.
Because he does
For
love
s-
those earrings. He does
for
love those earrings.
At least he
some
didn't have the
reason, I
bone through the
thought-
nose.
I thought you were gonna say it drove him into a homosexual rage. And
Well,
you know
there
what?
is that whole
Okay, well,
undertone.
I got.
I
some of
would have
that
bought that.
tendencies.
I would have bought that too.
By the end of it, I had some questions.
So, yeah, so the cops show up because
No,
they
it's
do,
not the
I guess.
cops.
Oh, what is it?
They were park rangers.
Okay, yeah, because they're just there.
Well, I'm guessing they were in some, city park, but the thing is, their sirens are going like cop sirens, and everybody's like, "Get out of here! It's the cops!" And then when they show up and everybody gets out of their vehicles, you clearly see park rangers written on the door.
Menacing.
Yes,
Uh,
I guess there were no bears stealing picnic baskets that night.
If only one of the daggers had been named Yogi.
Oh, that would be perfect, wouldn't it?
They probably are, and we just don't know.
That's
Yeah.
true. You know, Hook wouldn't be any less intimidating if his name was Boo Boo. Because he is the least intimidating villain in any movie ever.
Yep.
So Brolin injures his arm somehow because you don't really see that happen. You just kind of he's down on the ground. He's like, oh, suddenly now it's in a cast.
From my understanding, from when I watched it, Hook picked up the not the business end of the mace, but the handle end of the mace, and struck his arm with it.
Why weren't they just doing that the whole time?
You're asking for reasonings in a movie where they were jousting with heart pillows.
Yeah, is that yeah? I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that you shouldn't be asking for the reasons.
I thought it was a realistic. I can't even. No. I can't.
But yes, he broke his arm, and then Chrissy tries to comfort him with a moose riding a skateboard.
But it's her fault.
She somehow gets into the RV without him realizing it because he's like totally shocked to see her there.
Yeah.
But I assume there's only one door.
She has a key,
new
right?
Friend. I think I've met enough new friends.
Also, it's her fault, guys.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Listen.
Well, no, he says that it's her fault. Remember?
Oh, okay.
She didn't comfort him. That's why he broke his arm.
I'm gonna go back home. Maybe you should. But back home, I mean Indiana.
And then he's just like, "Yep,
okay, go."
And then he changes his mind in 15 seconds.
Because everybody in this movie is bipolar.
Right. Because he's like, "Yeah, go. I don't care. Wait, come back. I love you."
Yeah.
Of course. And then what do we get next, Brendan?
Your favorite scene, buddy?
This is actually my favorite scene. I take it back about the kidnapped child. This is Hook doing a killer air guitar session, and I can't even describe it with words. I will put the link somewhere. It's actually on the page right now. What were they thinking? You guys got to watch this.
I don't. Again, I feel I'm the oldest person on this podcast, but that was a thing. I'm not talking just about in the movie it seeming ridiculous. It is, if you were able to time travel back to 1986, the idea or concept of someone busting out an air guitar is not out of place at all.
I felt so awkward because they all seem so into it, like they're cheering him on, and he's not even that good, I don't think.
No, and I gotta ask, how long was his show?
Doesn't matter.
3 hours.
I'm going to tell you, there was, in one time, it may have been in 86 or maybe it was 87, I'm not sure, going to the exhibition in St. John, and one of the attractions throughout the week, one of the shows, was an air band.
Oh.
Just a bunch of dudes dressed up like rockers with no instruments playing air instruments.
That used to be a thing.
It was a thing. I'm saying, like, it seems it's absolutely ridiculous and hilarious to see it in this movie, not out of place at the time.
That's insane.
Sorry to dash your hopes of humanity, because...
Oh, you know what? And I knew, because I've heard, there's a documentary about these air guitarists. So I know it's existed at some point in history. It's just one of those things I just don't understand.
No, me either.
Also, it's completely out of place in this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, no, because they got to get that line in where he's like, "Oh, you just missed my show. I didn't think it ever stopped."
Ooh.
Sick burn.
Yeah. It's weird, too, because it feels like his, daggers never want to make him angry, but they all, ooh, at the burn.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
This is where she announces that she's going to go back to Indiana for the 6th time in this movie.
Oh, how many fucking times does she say Indiana? I'm from Indiana. I'm going back to Indiana. I'm just a small girl from Indiana.
Every time she said it, after a while, every time she said it when we were watching this movie, we completed it with, "But Lord, you can't go back there."
I bet you Indiana was getting residuals.
The Great Tourism Board of Indiana was paying the money. Just keep mentioning our state. Come on.
Oh my god. I didn't look at the credits at the end because I turned it off as soon as the credits started. But I hope at the end of the credits that it said that it was filmed in Indiana.
I don't think it went that bad. There are some pretty big landmarks they show in this movie that definitely point out that it's. But it would have been nice to see. We appreciate the patronage and participation of the Great Indiana Tourism Board.
They were actually built on set. This movie had a budget of $700 million.
They completely recreated downtown Venice Beach
In India.
in Indiana,
including creating the ocean.
Yep.
This movie took 6 years to film, guys.
And after she reads old Hook the Riot Act about, hurting Justin Bieber and all the stuff that they've been doing, he responds with, "Can't you take a joke?"
Right. I just tried to throw
first degree
a fire
assault
pit.
and third degree arson are hilarious.
I agree. Arson's pretty funny.
Right, can't you take a joke?
Can you take a joke? I just tried to murder you in a fire pit. Can't you take a joke?
And she says, "I can take a joke. I can't take you."
Right.
Oh, sick burn! Sick burn!
She's just like throwing them out. Like she's just got these one-liners. She's been holding them up all summer.
That's because
This movie might as well have been called One Liner.
Well, it's because the girl who played Velvet was probably punching up her lines for her. It would have sounded really good if I had said that. I'm gonna say that.
Maybe she was like secretly sabotaging her though, in hopes to get her role back by giving her these like shitty lines. But people are going to be talking about Velvet, not Pamela Gidley.
I actually at one point said I would have rather because I didn't know that the little bit that you said that it was supposed to be her in the main lead. I actually had said I would have much rather seen Velvet as the love interest instead of Kristen Stewart version 1.
Well, guys, just think about it. We would have gotten the sex scene between Johnny Depp and his real girlfriend at the time. We would have seen how they really do it.
They probably, honestly, it would have been a real sex scene. It would have been a sex tape.
Okay.
It's like when you watch Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut. And you're like, oh my god, that's how they really do it with each other.
I thought you were going to say Monstrous Ball.
Yeah, Holly Berry and Billy Bob Thornton, real life couple.
He's raw dogging it.
Oh, yeah. That was a hotter sex scene than the one in this movie.
So, after all this, Hook's going to take Chrissy to the bus station, and they have their conversation in the van, and it's all ADR.
Yeah,
They couldn't mic the van for some reason.
Also, can I ask why, when they're going to the bus station, it's dark? She gets to the bus station, it's light, and then she's on the bus, and it's like...
He, takes her there the night before.
Yeah.
And then she sleeps in the bus station.
Yeah.
Right. Why?
I have no idea.
Oh, my lord. So basically, she gets on the bus.
Montage
while Brolin is like, okay, I'm going to go to the fucking... LA Massacre. Oh, yeah, we haven't mentioned the LA Massacre. That's the big finale. But he says, yeah, okay, I'll go start training for the LA Massacre.
Even though I only have one arm.
Even though I have one arm. And Chrissy's on the bus. She sees that shitty necklace. And she's like,
shiny,
and
it catches her eye.
That's right. And she's like, I'm going to stay here. And she somehow convinces the bus driver to drop her off in the middle of nowhere.
That literally could not even wait to get to a bus stop.
In the middle of the night on a highway, either in California or Nevada. No horror movie ever started like that.
No. And then as soon as she gets off, someone stops for her.
No horror movie ever started like that either.
And it's a trailer. Wait, you don't even... The best part is she gets in the mobile home or the trailer or whatever. You don't even see the people that picked her up.
Wasn't it a little old lady? I thought she had like a sun hat on or something.
I think that's later. I think that's the second ride she gets.
Okay.
Because after she gets on the trailer, she puts her leg out like she's going to hook for a ride.
Oh, yeah, and she flips the guy off who doesn't stop for her.
Wait, because, okay, she gets off the RV, and you can see a sign that says, 300 miles to LA.
Miles to LA, yeah.
Yeah, but the RV is still going in that direction. Why did she not just stay on?
Well, maybe they're spending the night right behind that sign.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I can't justify it.
I want you to justify it, Brendan.
That'll be my project.
Yep.
When I was watching this, I was taking note of like a lot of the tropes and stuff that you would see in a lot of teen movies from the 80s and stuff. And the only thing this movie was missing was a rec center to save.
A what?
Like a rec center, or a community center to save. Like if the ramp locals had been doing the LA massacre so they could save the community center.
An orphanage full of...
Right.
I was going to say an orphanage full of nuns. That's not what that's for.
Would have made it just as much sense as the rest of the movie.
No, they're trying to rebuild the ramp. That's what they need the $1,000 for.
But they didn't at first, did they?
That's a charitable organization, right?
But
themselves.
They only lose the ramp halfway through the movie. They were going to be in the LA massacre from the outset.
Well, now they have motive,
I guess.
Yeah, first it was just for fun. Now it's personal.
Why aren't any of the other... Oh my god, Jaws 4 over here. Why are Hook and Josh Brolin the only ones in their gangs to be in the LA massacre?
Well, one guy in Corey's gang is doing it. But I don't know why they're not all doing it.
Well, I would love to see the little Stevie in the LA massacre.
I'm guessing that Bozo was grounded. Like he could go.
Bozo has all of his limbs broken, so he's
Bozo can't even climb up that ramp at the beginning of the movie, guys. He's worthless. Let's be real.
And the Radster doesn't want to mess up his face. That's the moneymaker.
He doesn't want to mess up his hair.
Right.
The ladies are all over him.
They were like, he was gonna do it, and then they were like, well, you have to wear a full shirt and take your fedora off. And he was like, nope, no.
No dice.
Pass. I'll just stand here and cheer really loud.
Yeah. So, and they're gonna win $1,000 from this downhill race. Now, granted, in '86, $1,000, you're looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 now, which is a good chunk of change, I guess. But the daggers say, we'll do this, win $1,000, and our summer will be set.
Yep.
Could you live for 3 months in Los Angeles on $1,000?
Well, do they pay rent, or do they just live in the streets?
Again, I'm pretty sure somebody is paying a mortgage on that house.
Well, hold on now. Do we ever see anyone but Josh Brolin in his house, like out of the...
No, this is the daggers.
The ramp locals?
The daggers are going to be
set
the daggers
for 3 months. That. Yeah. Oh my god, when the daggers are preparing for the race at the end.
They're wrapping them up Mad Max style?
They say, this is going to scare the hell out of them. And it's a wristband with like spikes on it.
Yep.
So
then we get to the race.
Yes, we do. That is the sad thing I was going to say. The sad thing is we get to the race. And I don't know. I don't have a lot on this, but if you guys want to talk about,
I do have specifics. One thing. Like, it's pretty generic. It's obviously all, B-roll, because nobody who's like any of the skating action is nobody who's legitimately in the movie. But there's a lot of times when people are thrown from the course and tumble down hills, and I really wanted them to explode in a fiery ball of death, like a car wreck. Like they just tumble.
I do want to say one thing. I have a question for both of you. What is the scale of this event? Because, look, there are helicopters with cameras and announcers.
There's like the most awkward line. He's like, they're from all over the country. Colorado, Washington, and Northern California.
That's all over. Yeah, every state.
Yep, every single. Coast to coast. Covered.
Yeah,
right
that
there.
covers it.
They're from all over the globe,
including
the USA
East
and
Coast
Mexico.
Skate scene ever, right?
Never.
Okay.
New York doesn't even know what a skateboard is.
They're too busy breaking.
Breaking's a memory. They just don't know.
Breaking's a memory. Yeah.
They're breaking on Beat Street. Anybody?
Breaking on what?
Beat Street. I'm so fucking old.
You lost me.
Beat Street's another breakdance movie.
Oh Jesus!
Oh.
It's
Superior to Breaking.
An entire 6 episodes just on skateboard and breakdancing movies.
Yes.
I would have a smile on my face that you'd have to jackhammer off when I died.
I thought you were gonna say jack off.
That too.
Come on, guys.
With a smile on my face that you'd have to jack off till I die.
Doesn't have to be one or the other.
Can it be both?
Yeah.
So the race.
At the
6
end
minutes.
of the race,
Why is there a police officer with a speed reader?
and a humongous jump.
I know,
And-
like they've gone downhill for 20 miles, but
And
they
20
can't win unless
hours, it
they
seemed
make this
like.
ramp.
Yeah. The Widowmaker.
The what?
They called it the Widowmaker.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
There was a
Yeah.
sign above it that said the Widowmaker. For some reason, at the end of this, horrendous downhill race where people have been thrown from the road and died in fiery explosions, you have to do a jump at the end before you cross the finish line.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know skateboarding and I don't know math, but I feel like if you're going down a hill at 60 miles an hour and you make that ramp, like you are flying over the crowd.
Yes.
Like you are going into the ocean. Like
100%. There is
If
no
only this
way that he
movie
would have
had-
been able to not be flung into the crowd and cause major destruction.
If only this movie had ended with Josh Brolin soaring into the ocean.
like a fish, yes.
Like a fish! Oh my god!
It all
It's come-
comes back
It's
around.
come full circle, you guys. And then he swims away, and everyone's like, what? Credits.
Yeah.
No, because everybody wins in 45 seconds after he crosses the finish line. Everybody wins.
It's a tie between everyone else.
He
And Chrissy's like, well, I guess I'm going back to Indiana, where I live in Indiana.
he wins the race. He
Yep.
wins the heart of Chrissy, who has returned.
And the respect of Hook.
He wins.
And
the
as they
respect
say,
of
he
Hook.
wins 1,000 frog skins, which is a term for money I've never heard before.
Slang and half shirts. That's all this movie is.
Frog
Slang
skins.
and half shirts. Wins $1,000 and wins sponsorship from the creepy man with the panel van.
In the
Yep.
most awkward add-on scene ever.
Yeah.
Because he walks up and he's like, you got your deal, bye.
Credits.
I feel like that was a note from the studio. Oh, don't forget about the skateboard thing. Can you add that in? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that guy, he hasn't gone to trial yet. No, get him back in here. We need to shoot that scene.
Yeah, the actor is also a pedophile. That's horrible. He's probably passed away.
This movie is
No,
bananas.
that one's still alive.
Sam Flood is still alive?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
man.
Tyler died, but Sam Flood is still kicking.
It's the saddest news I've gotten today.
That Sam Flood is alive?
No, that he's alive, but Tyler's dead.
Oh,
Man.
I know. The world's an unfair place.
Clearly.
The guy who plays Sam Flood is Hugh Hefner's best friend.
I suppose.
That's a hell of a credit. He's also the Thing in a Fantastic Four TV series. I believe it's a cartoon
It's
series.
probably a voice, yeah.
Yeah.
This movie was bananas.
Bananas.
And I don't mean banana boards, like old skateboards. This movie was just flat out insane.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was pretty crazy.
I would have, again, I watched it. I was happy to watch it because I remembered how ridiculous it was from when I was a kid. But again, Brendan, I would have been at least 10 times more jacked if we had been watching Gleaming the Cube. Because I'm telling you, you got to see it. I'll bring you a copy. If you, we don't even have to do it for the podcast, but you've got to see this movie. It's so good.
I'm looking it up now, and it's just a man screaming. So I'm set.
Christian Slater is a skateboarder who solves crime.
Co-starring Scarface's brother
There you
or
go.
best friend, I forget. Steven Bauer. But that being said, I recommend you see this movie, guys.
If not just so you could say I didn't believe it until I saw it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
I was just
What
gonna
were you
say like, because I don't know, as someone who's a fan of Josh Brolin, I'm glad that I finally saw this movie. It's only his second movie. Like, he went from The Goonies to this. So I'm just picturing, if you were if you saw this in 1986 and saw Josh Brolin in this movie, would you be like, "Yep, that's a future Oscar nominee.
He's gonna be a star
right there.
one day.
He's
got written
gonna
all
be
over him.
fucking huge."
Yes, I would.
Well, yeah, I mean, those shirtless scenes alone, but
His acting in that sex scene. Oh my god.
Fantastic.
I mean, it's not the worst Josh Brolin movie I've ever seen.
No, it's not. But I mean, yeah. Okay, where does it rank for you, Jerika, in terms of Josh Brolin performances?
I mean, it's near the bottom.
Is it better or worse than No Country for Old Men?
Oh, hold the phone! What?
It's a legitimate question. Answer it.
You know,
I feel like
I think he brings the same gravitas to Corey Webster as he does to to No Country for Old Men.
whatever his character is called. That is funny. Out of context, you were able to name the character from Thrashin, but not the character from No Country for Old Men.
I think it's Llewellyn, but I'd have to double check.
I believe it's Llewellyn Davis, and they go inside him. Coen Brothers reference, yo.
So I would also recommend checking it out just for the absolute shits and giggles of it, because it has to be seen to be believed.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like, I would definitely recommend it. It's bad, but it's not that bad. It's it's kind of funny at scenes.
Not intentionally, but
That's why it's worth it, I think.
Yeah, any of the intentional jokes are pretty bad, but like just the fact that this movie was made is funny in itself.
Yeah.
Jerika, do you have anything to plug?
No, I have very little life outside of this.
I believe you're doing a convention in town coming up. Is that right?
Me? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have a stand-up show tonight at the Capitol,
Awesome.
and then well, I mean, Jen.
tonight as in Sunday night.
Yeah.
Sunday.
You can
It's
travel
Tuesday.
back in
This is
time,
live,
folks.
guys.
And then, of course, I have all of my top secret concerts that my alter ego will be performing at.
Oh, right. Because I just revealed you at the top of the show.
Yeah.
Show's over, Synergy. You can check out Montrose Monkington TV on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey, if she can plug stuff, I can plug stuff.
And you guys can check out this podcast. It's called What Were They Thinking? Check it out.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Plug in the
Brendan.
show that we're on. Yes, you have a question.
Yes, 2 weeks. Are we going to be able to podcast?
We almost forgot to mention the next one.
Okay, yes, I want to know.
I just want to know because aren't you going to Boston?
I will not be in Boston in 2 weeks. I will be in Boston in 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was 2 weeks from now. All right.
No, it is the 30th.
Okay.
Did you have an announcement regarding that?
Yes. Because it's going to be closer to Halloween. I've decided I'm going to pick a horror movie for my next choice, and we are going to watch Critters.
Oh Lord.
Ooh.
And starring Billy Zane, Dee Wallace, and
E.T.'s mom?
no, Scott. Yes, E.T.'s mom, the mom from E.T., and Scott Grimes.
Oh. And Lin Shaye.
It's a fantastic movie.
I've never seen it. I'm
is
excited.
easily one of the best of the Gremlin knockoff movies.
Excellent.
So that movie, that's what we'll do for our next one.
October 25th, guys.
Yep. But as for Thrashin, Brendan,
Yeah?
what were they thinking?